In this tutorial, I'm going to show how to set up your project for if you want to develop in Memoria. So I'm going to assume you've seen the first tutorial and you have Memoria installed. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to go to the Memoria repository and we're going to click fork. Now I already have a copy. Oh, I don't currently have a copy. No, I do. I already have a copy. So it won't let me do that. However, for you, you can just put it under yourself. You probably won't have these organizations. So you do that, you click create fork, and it creates a fork. For me, obviously, I have my own fork, so I'm just going to go to my repositories. I'm going to click into my Memoria fork. And this is where you can use different Git tools. Myself, I prefer the command line, so I'm going to open a new command line. I'm going to go to where I put my code. It's in this directory. I believe I already have a Memoria folder, so I'm just going to remove that. Because it's not... okay, I will delete that through Windows. Yeah, I'm just going to delete that. So you can see that I've got completely fresh version of Memoria when Windows decides to sort itself out. Either way, it doesn't really matter, the folder's deleted. Once I've done this, I'm just going to sync my fork. You probably won't have to do this because you won't have code already here. Your fork will be completely clean and up to date. Once I've done that, I'm happy with it. I'm going to click the code. Now, if you're using GitHub Desktop, click the button for that. If you're just using Visual Studio straight out the back, you can use that. And if you're using the GitHub CLI, the instructions are there. Myself, I just use Git normally through command line, as I said before. So I'm going to copy that. I'm going to go to my command line. Just going to clear that up. I'm going to do a git clone and paste in the URL. So now that I'm in here and I've got the files, I'm going to change into the Memoria directory that I've just downloaded. So if I do a dir to list, we'll see all the Memoria files. There's also this setup project environment PS1. So with this, I'm just going to quickly go back to the main Memoria branch. I'm going to go to the wiki, the developer instructions, and I'm going to copy this line of code. So what this does is this means you're allowed to run code that has been signed. So signing is something where developers have to pay and have to have their code checked over. So the company who give me my signing certificate that is used for this have checked this repository and made sure everything's safe with it and made sure that the scripts that are being signed are not dangerous. Not all signing is that way, depends on how they're being signed. This is signed for that verification. There are other options for this. You can actually set it to a completely untrusted, which means it'll just run any script. I would not recommend that. PowerShell has the ability to completely mess up your computer. It's just the same as terminal on Linux. It's just the way you use it is slightly different. I'm going to copy that. I'm going to paste it in here. And I'm going to get an error. And that error is because I'm not running PowerShell as administrator. So I'm just going to run that as an administrator in a new window. Paste it in that one. I'm going to get a, are you sure you want to change this? I'm going to say, yes, I want them changing. So that has now been done. That now means in this one, I can do the dot backslash, which means run something that's in this current directory. And the file is there, the setup project environment.ps1. I'm going to hit that. It's going to take a couple of minutes. It's going to ask for administrator permissions. It's going to start its own PowerShell, which you'll notice is completely different from the theming I normally have. It's copied all the files. The project has been set up, so the solution can now be opened. So I can now exit that. And if I really wanted, I could do Explorer to open the File Explorer in. And I forgot to put the dot on the end. Explorer dot. And you'll open the file in the current directory. So I've got that. The SLN is there. So I'm going to double click that. It's going to open it in my Visual Studios 2022, which you can do now. We do now support this. For a long time we had problems and could only support 2019. However, we've now fixed that. So once we've done this, if we build, I'm going to build solution, and we're going to see it download everything it needs from NuGet and create a build of the game. So it's going to take a couple of minutes whilst it does this. So it's just finished there. Once you've done that, what you want to do is right click and open folder in File Explorer. Because what you need to do is go into this output directory and you will get this Memoria patcher. Whenever you make code changes, this patcher is how you will install it. Once you've run it once as administrator, you're fine not to run it as administrator again. So from the first install in the first tutorial, it's been run as administrator, so I can just double click this and you'll see it patching and tell me it's finished. Now in this case, it's just patched it with the same version that I downloaded, but it shows that's how you install a new coded version. Do not try and copy and paste files over. It doesn't work how you would expect it to. The next step is how we debug the game. So there's a couple of things we need to check. First, if you followed the instructions, you should already have this, but if you're not sure, double check. So you open the Visual Studios installer, the version you're using, so in my case it's 2022. Going to click Modify. I'm going to click Individual Components. I'm going to type Unity, and I'm going to make sure both Unity Hub and Visual Studio Tools for Unity are installed. If they are not checked, you need to check them, and you need to click Install while downloading. If they are checked, you're fine. You can close the installer without a problem. Once we've done that, we're then going to go over to Steam. We're going to click Play on the game, and we're going to tick this debuggable option. So when I do this and I click play, I get that notice if you can attach the debugger. So I'm going to come over to Visual Studios. I'm going to click debug. I'm going to click attach Unity debugger. I'm then going to select the process. There's only one Unity process with debugging open. I'm going to click OK. You'll notice at the bottom, my bar has gone red. So this means the debugger is attached. If we want to stop debugging, we can just stop there. The game won't exit. If I instead exit the game, it will just end the debugging session.